Hello and welcome to a podcast between Micah and I. This isn't going to be something we do like consistently because we just got other things to do, like with college and work and stuff. But like every now and then we'll probably do something like this. So yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself, Micah.
Introduce myself. Everybody already knows who I am.
Yeah, I know. Fair enough.
Hello, gamers. It's me, the Apathetic. Today I'm here with Carlos Aurelio.
Yeah, okay.
Gonna talk about some good juicy stuff today. What do you think, Carlos? Okay, what are we talking about?
The real truth behind our high school experiences, because I feel like not a lot of people from our high school like really got to know us that much, and
I feel like people knew me pretty well. I don't know. You were always kind of in the shadows, though, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like why I want this to be the first episode, kind of like as an introduction. But let's start back from the beginning. I'd say freshman year. Oh man. I don't even know where to start with that. I think let's just start on the first day of school over there. I just remember Micah walks in the classroom. Like, I remember walking into the physics room and we just had to sit in those super uncomfortable stools. And those were garbage, dude.
Those stools were garbage.
And the sad thing is, they're still there to this day, even after we were finished with school.
Yeah, they probably switched them out after we left, to be honest.
Yeah, they probably just took effort to actually make things better after we left. We're not gonna name our school name, but if you know us, then you probably know what school we're talking about. But then I just remember like this guy in glasses walks in with like a giant heavy gray and blue jacket, and I just see him and I'm like, what the heck? Why the heck do you wear a jacket like in September? So like it's not even like December yet.
It was a winter coat. It was a big winter coat.
Yeah, it was. And you wore that like all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, at least for a while. At least for a little while, you wore it all the time. I'd say like after maybe like a couple weeks, you probably stopped wearing that. And I thought, okay, this is an interesting guy. And then, one of our students is like he like opens his Snapchat and is like recording you, and he's like, Micah, and then you do that thing where you like snap both your fingers and like do the fancy point.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was at that point I was like, okay, he's like a lot different than everyone else here, because like at the time I was used to hanging out with Jacob and Josiah, and they were like always the shy ones. I mean, they still kind of are, but still.
Yeah.
And now like give me like your first impressions of me like during that freshman year, because I know you're gonna have some funny things to say.
Okay. First day of school. I think the first guy I met was Levi.
Levi.
Yeah. And he liked me. He enjoyed me. So, and then we go to physics class, and I think I sat next to you. And we're doing roll call, and this is Aurora.
Yeah.
Name here, and then she gets to you, and you messed up.
And I was like, oh, darn it.
Yeah, like, oh, this kid, he enjoys life. I could tell that.
No, I hated it. It was the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
And
I
then
don't know.
no, that was pretty much all you got from me for the rest of that year, pretty much. Maybe
Yep.
even the year after that.
I don't know. I
But
got a lot of rage moments from you. You like we'd play basketball during lunch and you get mad at
yeah,
punch
because
a wall or something like that.
yeah, that's
A lot of
because like
anger.
Levi and Jacob were like so tall and just always like able to block everything I did since I was so short at the time. I was like 5 foot like 6 during my freshman year, so I was like a super short guy.
Well, I was even shorter. I was like
5'4".
I was really short.
Were you? Yeah, you were fast too. And then I just had a lot of rage moments. But one of the reasons I had a lot of rage moments was because Levi kept like escalating them. If you ever noticed that, like he would always like plan out. Okay, now I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna say this to get them all worked up and I was just like, and like just super pissed off all the time, pretty much.
Yeah, he had fun.
Mm-hmm.
With you. So.
To say the least. Jacob and Jill, like they weren't like that. It's just that I was just trying to get them to like do stuff, I guess, and then they were like, "Oh no," and I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
Honestly, I didn't really have a lot of interaction with you that first year.
No, I don't think so.
Not much.
I kind of avoided a lot of people because it was my first year, so I was just kind of like trying to get to know everyone.
Well,
so I just hung out with Josiah a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I ended up doing, but like, yeah, I mostly hung out with Jacob and Joe. I didn't really hang out with Josh or Ethan or anyone else that much.
I guess I kind of hung out with a lot of people, just not you, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know you definitely hung out with more people than I did at the time. And then, let's see, kind of keeping on track the freshman year. What happened afterward? Oh yeah, I think we were going. It was like our first retreat. So like every year, our high school like does this retreat at the beginning of the year. I guess. I mean, should we just kind of say what all 4 retreats were like, or should we just?
Just do the first one.
Okay. So I remember the first one was actually pretty fun. Because but it was also a different location than we did the last 3 retreats, now that I remember. But we were like doing like really cool hide and seek games and stuff. I will say one thing I just don't like about retreat anymore is the skits. I just can't with them.
I don't know why we keep doing
skits. Okay, so like skits are so dumb. I just don't like it.
Like the garbage teams in skits, and like all these kids that can't act, and they make these like super cringy little stories, and it's like, oh my gosh, Micah, you can be like Batman or something. It's like, I don't want to be Batman. I don't do it at all. I just want to go home.
Or that's pretty much what I thought every time we did a skit. I remember like we did this skit where like we had to pretend to be like other teachers and stuff, and it was like, okay, yeah, I guess that could be funny, but I feel like we've done that like 100 times already. Yeah. And I remember one teacher that everyone started impersonating to the point where it like wasn't funny anymore was Mr. Tinkham. Yeah. Like I was Mr. Tinkham. Daniel Reyes was Mr. Tinkham. A lot of people were Mr. Tinkham.
I played Mr. Snyder one year.
You played Mr. Snyder?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people were Snides too. Mason was Mr. Snyder. Oh yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like if the skits weren't so cringeworthy. They probably would have been a lot more fun. Yet again, them being cringy is why like all the older people find it funny. So there's really like,
it is fun watching the freshmen do skits.
yeah. But then I think we get to our cabin, right? And we didn't have a nice. It wasn't until like our 3rd and 4th year when we had a nice place to stay.
Yeah.
Mostly because we were just lower classmen, and rightfully so. They give the lower classmen less benefits. Please keep it that way. No offense to them, but come on. Anyway, we're in our cabin, right? And I think it was Mr. Snyder. I think Mr. Snyder was like our main guy. And
it was Mr. Snyder and Mr. Hembroff, I think.
Yeah. But there wasn't I don't think Mr. Hembroff really said much though. Or actually no, I don't think Mr. Hembroff was actually in our freshman one, or even if he was even if he was, I don't remember hearing a single word from him. I think Mr. Snyder did all the yelling and all the talking at the time.
Well, because the way our cabin was set up was there was like a big room and then a small room. And they were all in the teachers were in the small room, so that they close the door and go to bed. And then we were all in the big
They were
room.
next door from us.
So they could hear it, but we just...
Yeah, we were like half... we weren't too loud, but like we would always... we definitely like talked all night. And
yeah,
I remember like the first impression I got from Mr. Snyder, because I mean, no offense to him, but for some reason it seems like he's always like on edge at the beginning of every year.
Yep.
And especially with freshmen too. And if I were Snides too, I would understand why he would have that attitude towards like new freshmen, because they're just annoying little devils and stuff like that. But I just remember he's like yelling, he's like, "All right, so you guys gotta get ready for battle." And the first thing I remember like saying in my head is, "Wow, this guy is gonna like kill us."
Yeah. I remember whenever we'd be loud, we'd see a shadow like outside the door, like, "Oh, it's Mr. Snyder! Everyone get to bed!" And we'd all like hop into bed real quick. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was pretty intense. Although I do remember when all of us were asleep, I remember someone opened our door, looked at us, and then just closed it. And it wasn't Snyder. It was not Snyder. It was like, I think it was like some woman. Like, I don't know, because it was like, it was way, she was like, she had like long hair and nowhere near as tall as Mr. Snyder. So it was like really intense. Like, I legit thought I saw like some kind of demonic figure that just opened the door, and I was like, "Oh, well, this is it now."
Well, I think we were all still awake at that moment. It might have just been one of the seniors that went to the wrong cabin, maybe. I don't know. But they looked, and then they're like, "Oh crap!" And then they closed
it. And I remember like one time, like I snuck up like on Dante and Levi while they were both sleeping like on an air mattress in their sleeping bags. I like walked up to them and like tried to scare them, because it's always fun to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm getting a call right now. Oh, I'm gonna have to edit this out now. One second.
Ooh, it's your mom.
Gosh.
Hello.
Hi, this is Rachel from Dealer Services. Your file just came across my desk, and it looks like your vehicle may be at risk of losing coverage. In order to...
Okay, that's done. Dude, I get like one of those calls like every other day. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
But anyway, well, the reason I answer random calls is because I don't know if it's like some random person from work or from the college. So it could be just me making sure I don't miss anything, but at the same time, every time I picked up a random number, it was always like some car's extended warranty and like that kind of thing. But anyway, going back to the story. So like I sneak up on Dante and Levi and I scare them. I remember Levi like practically drop kicks me with both of his feet like right to my chest, and then immediately afterward Dante throws his backpack right at my face. I wasn't even like offended by that because I kind of expected them to have a reaction to that because that's a reaction I would have had. But I remember finding that so hilarious.
Yeah, a lot of things happened freshman year. So like every retreat, they'd have like a theme.
Oh yeah.
For the skits, mostly for the skits, but just kind of like a general theme.
What was our theme for freshman year? I don't remember.
Freshman year, it was decades.
So, oh yeah, so you go like, you know, there's 80s and 70s. Yeah, I remember hating that because like doing skits that are like a parody of like the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Such pain.
References either. That's like you get the 60s.
That's the only thing that's literally the only thing that makes it funny too, is the drug references. And we couldn't even do that.
Our group got the 19 teens, so like the 10s.
Oh, what are you gonna do like with that?
Garbage year.
Did any of us get like the Great Depression or like World War II or anything like that?
I'm sure somebody did. All I remember is that you were Prohibition.
Yeah. I was Mr. Tinkham too in our play, and our play kind of sucked, honestly.
Your play was the best play. It got first place.
It did. I don't think ours did. I definitely. I don't think it was mine.
Did you have Zach in your group?
Zach Bassnett?
Yeah.
Oh no, we didn't.
Oh, okay.
No, his was the best when
his was the best one.
Like the Mr. T, like
that was the Prohibition one. The Prohibition one was like the 40s or 50s or something. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm. And, yeah, he was like wearing Jared's wife's like dress or something.
He was wearing Julie's dress. And Mr. Hunter came in as the principal and was like trying to find the tea.
Remember?
But it was actually alcohol. So it was pretty fun.
Remember when he like took a baseball bat and smashed a coffee mug?
Yep.
I mean, and keep in mind, like I wasn't in choir at the time, and so I had no idea what to expect from this guy. And so, along with Mr. Snyder, I thought of Mr. Hunter as like some big, intimidating dude that could snap your neck with a flick of a wrist. I mean, he probably still could. He probably still could.
I got to know all the teachers because my parents had me work at Stillwater the summer before for PTO hours, so we can get a discount.
So you gotta like meet other teachers.
Yeah, so we're at like a private school, and you gotta pay tuition and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they kept jacking up the tuition like every year too.
Yeah, they did.
Dude, it's good now that my mom doesn't have to pay for me anymore. She only has to pay for 2 siblings now.
My parents are like, because I was the last kid, so they're not gonna have to pay ever again. So
yeah,
they're like saving up money,
and
for retirement.
they sure as hell like ain't helping you through college either.
They probably won't.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, I was doing PTO hours for the discount during the summer, and I got to know all the teachers pretty well. So I already knew that Mr. Hunter was a pretty funny guy, so I wasn't like too shocked at him destroying the coffee mug in the Mr. T skit.
Yeah, I also remember Jacob and Caleb's were pretty good too. They were acting like, I think it was the 90s. They had the 90s and they were acting like football stars because they had those jackets that football players wear. And there's like a raw turkey, like a raw turkey or like chicken or something. They were just like throwing it like a football. That was pretty good.
Yeah. I had this awful group freshman year. We did see, like, okay, so in the teens, all there was like the Titanic and World War One, and they decided, let's not do any of those. Let's just have a normal day at school at Stillwater. Let's just do a skit about that,
dude.
So I was literally an extra, and I was sitting at a desk the entire time and didn't say anything.
That's pretty much what almost all of your skits were. You would just kind of like, I feel like yeah. I definitely tried my best to be like a side character throughout all my skits and just not do anything.
And then in senior year, not too bad for skits. I did pretty good because I was getting more.
We actually like had to do stuff. Definitely, man, definitely. I also remember, so like after retreat was over, right? We take the bus back home. Actually, no. Actually, I want to backtrack. I remember waking up that night that we slept over, and everyone was gone. And it's like that meme with Patrick going, "Where did everybody go?" Like that kind of thing. And then you guys were like I legit thought I like overslept or something. And then, but it was like you guys went for a soccer run, and didn't something like happen? Yeah. Didn't something happen out there?
Okay, so soccer run. So every year, Mr. O'Rourke wanted us at retreat to do a little soccer run. It was supposed to be 2 miles, but it was like hardly ever 2 miles.
It was like 100 yards, pretty much.
So there was this one kid. He was a tryhard. And
we're not gonna name any names, but
he ran ahead like super far, and then one of the seniors, Jared, was like, "Guys, let's let him get ahead like super far, and then we'll turn around and just leave him." So that's what we did. He was like way ahead of us, and then we all turned around and ran back. And it was like an hour later that the kid that was ahead finally came back. So our jog was like 5 minutes, and his jog was like an hour. So it was
dude, was he like? Did he just not notice that you guys left him? Was he just looking straight ahead and didn't even bother that?
You know how he runs. He's like,
yeah.
Just keeps going.
Yeah.
The night game, that retreat also, it was like hide and seek type stuff.
Dude, that one was fun too. That night game was so fun.
And I got caught, but okay, so they explained the rules that you're supposed to like get touched for you to like, they're supposed to tag you, and then that's how you got like caught, you know?
You didn't know that?
No, I knew that. But Jorgen, the senior that was trying to catch me, thought that he just had to see me. But then he started chasing after me. Cool, because he saw me, so then I started running. And then he started chasing after me, and I was jumping over like stumps and stuff. And I jumped over this little ledge, but there was a picnic table at the bottom of it. So I like smashed my shins. Running full speed. And then it was awful. I had like this little cut in my leg.
Ow.
But it was a fun night game. It was a really fun night game.
I think that was like the only good one that we've had, to be honest.
Junior year wasn't too bad because they did kind of the same thing.
Actually, no. Senior year was actually we played like Ghosts in the Graveyard senior year. That one was actually okay. We'll get to senior year at like a different episode because I don't want to like record for 4 hours like Joe Rogan does. Yeah, I mean that was pretty much our retreat, and then we took the bus back home, and then we just I remember going back home, And I was actually kind of sick because I think
was that the same year that there was a bomb threat?
yeah, there were. Yeah, I was about to say that we were getting bomb threats and stuff, and so we basically had like a week-long vacation.
Well, it was like,
no, it was like a couple days. It was a couple days actually. Now that I remember,
it was a 4-day weekend because of the bomb threats. But then it turned out to be some random group in the UK that was just harassing Columbia Falls for some reason or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even targeted towards us. It was just
yeah.
the school that was near us got targeted, so they thought that we might be a threat.
Well, I could still understand why they chose to do that. I mean, they definitely took the action seriously, which I wouldn't expect any less of them. And honestly, the 4-day weekend was awesome too.
I liked it.
I loved it.
We got retreat and then a weekend.
And then that weekend, and so it wasn't until like our third week of school when we had like our first, Monday through Friday full week of school. Yeah. And I remember I was like I wasn't super sick, but I just had like the sniffles and stuff and like a slight cough and sneeze. And so like all what I did on that weekend, I was just on my laptop watching YouTube on my bed just because I just couldn't really do anything else at the time.
Yeah.
And then
I can't remember what I did.
Yeah.
Like so long ago.
I also so let's see. So we got that bomb threat, and then school proceeded on as normal. I mean, as like normal freshmen would. We were just kind of getting used to different things, and I remember
you weren't in soccer, so
I wasn't in soccer either. So like I could just go to school and then go back home, pretty much. And
I played soccer all 4 years. And,
how was
it wasn't too bad, but it was like we had this one annoying 8th grader on the team.
I know exactly who you're talking about, man. You wanna tell him about that fancy goal that he got?
Oh jeez. Okay. Last game of the year, and this is JV, so JV always sucks because it's just freshmen and sophomores.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's last game. We have a chance to win, and we're winning 1-0, and the game's almost over. And our goalkeeper goes out to go and grab the ball,
he's like keeper to like let him know that he's got it, right?
The keeper, when he goes and gets the ball, he says, keeper. So and then this kid, this 8th grader, he runs up and he kicks it because he wants to try to help the keeper get the ball or something like that, but he like really yams on it, and the keeper no, and then the kid kicks it. It was like a perfect T90 shot in the corner of the goal, perfect shot, and then it was an own goal though, so the game got. And then we were like yelling at him like, "What are you doing? You're so dumb." And he started crying.
Dude, I remember hearing about Josh's reaction to that. He's like, "What the frick, dude?"
Yeah, Josh was pretty upset.
But like even then, even if like he kicked it at a slow pace directly towards Kate. Wait, wasn't Caden the goalkeeper at the time? Caden Bassnet. Even then, Caden wouldn't be allowed to pick it up with his hands. He would have had to use his feet, and you don't want that. You literally do not want that. And so,
the 8th grader, he just didn't really understand. I don't know. But he just kicked it into the goal. I don't know why he was on defense, too, because usually the trash players aren't on defense. But
the trash player, like, I can tell from experience, like, when I started playing my sophomore year, the trash players are always on the wing. That's how it goes.
Forward.
Or winger forward. I definitely played forward a few times, but Tinkham kept spamming me the wings, and that just kept upsetting me so much.
Yeah,
that was the worst.
Senior year, I was a starter, and I played wing for starting. But when you're a starter wing, you're not like trash. It's when you're a backup wing that you're trash. So.
Yeah,
I was a backup wing every year except for senior year. So.
Yeah, I was I was mostly a backup defense player for Jacob whenever like Jacob started to get tired, or like when Jacob was just kind of like, he doesn't stab, but he just kind of he's not like the most coordinated person, and so sometimes he like needs help. And whenever like Daniel got like a yellow card, I would also step in.
Daniel. I love the yellow cards. Anyway, where were we?
Well, I think we just ended our soccer conversation right there. We can continue on later into our sophomore year, when I first started playing. But you want to talk about your basketball freshman year?
Oh, basketball. Okay. Let's see. It was C squad.
Mm-hmm.
So we were the third team, basketball, and we had the Spain foreign exchange student.
I love that kid, dude. That kid was so funny.
And he was a junior, but he wanted to play basketball, and he hadn't played basketball before because he's from Spain.
They have like soccer. I think they're more better known for soccer in Spain,
yeah,
but
they have basketball too, but it's not as popular.
Mm-hmm.
So he was on C squad, and we were playing C squad, and we actually didn't do too bad. I was a bench player, like real hard on C squad, which is like I was pretty trash at basketball. But I was really good at defense, so they'd always put me at defense all the time. So whenever there was someone who was having problems guarding, they'd throw me in there because I had quick feet. I could keep up with people. I'm pretty sure we won like maybe 2 games out of like 12 or something like that. So, I mean, we did pretty bad, but it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, it was definitely like a more fun year. Like just because like you lose a lot of games doesn't mean that you had a bad year. Yeah. Like I think we can like talk about our other future seasons once we get into like our sophomore and junior years.
Yeah.
But
the best part about the basketball year was probably being in pep band.
Because then you got to go to state.
Yeah, watching the varsity players play was like so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could root for them and stuff. We'd have like little chants that we would do to get the bench players in. And,
yeah, I remember that. Actually, no, we can talk about that once we get to our sophomore year.
Pep band, you get to go to state when you're in pep band because you follow varsity around and play, or play pep band, And let's see what happened. I don't think we won senior year. I think we got like third or something.
Yeah, we got third, and then we got third junior year too.
Yeah. But that was fun. Pep band was the best part of basketball for my freshman year.
I mean, like the only highlight of like our high school years were like pretty much the sports. Cause to be honest, like our class, like for those of you who don't know, our class like was like the kind of class that didn't care about the academic aspect of our school.
It's not like we didn't care. It's just that we didn't like emphasize it.
Yeah.
So we weren't like, oh, I'm gonna compete to get straight A's with Josh or something. No, we played sports and we passed. It's not like we failed.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure we were all like B students probably.
Yeah, B, C students.
For public school kids, they're probably like, oh, B students. But at a private school, I mean, we're still like just expected to get like a 3.5 GPA and be like big brain.
Yeah,
I think my average GPA was like 3.0, so I wasn't doing like awful, but I wasn't like super good at the grades.
Yeah, I mean, I think this applied to like all 4 years of school. Like, I don't think it was just never something I was like truly passionate or like talented at, and so I just didn't like feel like I wanted to work hard at it at all.
Yeah.
And like even to this day, like I don't feel like it's not as bad as it is now compared to back then, But like even now, like going to college, like part of me like doesn't want to go to college, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, okay. I want to do good in college. I might actually try in college, because in high school, teachers would always be like, "Micah, you're so smart, but you never put in any effort, and you don't, blah blah." Because I wouldn't do my homework at home. I do it during study halls. And freshman year, you get the least amount of study halls because you have to take so many electives.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I had like one study hall a day or something like that, and I just do my homework in study hall. But sometimes I wouldn't get it quite done. And I do like all my homework in study hall. So we had a speech at the end of the year from Mr. O'Rourke.
Oh yeah, dude,
It was a devotional speech.
dude, that I remember. Like all that I remember hearing is like there's this one meme of like this like pastor who's like preaching to the congregation, and he's like hua 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 hua, and you would say it like that. And then I also remember teenagers with no friends kill themselves, and all of us were just dying laughing.
I got some chapter in John, and it was about staying strong or something like that. And so yeah, I took the why meme, and I added that in there a lot. And then so okay, the whole point of this is I wrote that in one study hall period, and it was supposed to be like a 10-minute speech, and it ended up being like 4 minutes. So it was like a good speech, and Mr. Rourke was like, good speech. If it was actually like, if you kept going, it would have been a good speech. But
yeah, because he
finished,
only
like,
worked on it
I
for like
looked at
40
Rourke,
minutes.
and he's like, "You're done?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm done." He's like, "Okay." Yeah.
Dude, our Bible memory that we had to do. So like the VSFs and the journals. I mean, those were easy. I mean, you just have to like write random crap and like.
Well, okay.
Then you
so
get whoa.
VSFs. It's like this little Bible journal that you're supposed to do once a week.
Yeah.
And everybody in the class, except for maybe one or two girls, we would like write one at the beginning of the year and then just use that one every week. So we wouldn't, like, nobody would actually do it every week. It'd just be like a cheat thing. And then, you get with your buddy and you're like, you pass him your VSF and you're grading it. You'd be like, oh,
wait,
cool.
That's what you did at the time? I remember like
That's
I
what we all
actually
did.
like I worked. I remember like I actually like did some of them, but I didn't spend any time with them. Like I never felt good like cheating or anything.
Yeah.
So what I would do is I would just kind of like and just scribble like a bunch of like words and stuff down, and like I would say some stuff like, "Oh, Jesus is good," and blah blah blah. Like I would say stuff like that. But it wasn't anything like to celebrate about. And I think it was mainly Josiah who graded my papers, and so I mean, I always get like 25 out of 25. But then the actual like memories, like I remember I was actually super good at it. I would always get like 15s and like 100% on the finals and stuff. And then like as the years went by, my talent of Bible memory just started to drift away. And
I started to get better at Bible memory throughout the years. Like senior year, I could, like, for our finals senior year, where we had to memorize the entirety of Romans 8.
Romans freaking 8, dude.
And it's like a pretty
And
long chapter.
it was long too, and it's like ESV, and so it's like worded a lot more complicatedly.
Yeah, it has like big words and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, you
I
definitely
like
improved a lot. You definitely
I
improved a lot.
memorized that during study hall senior year, like in like a day. I rememorized it, and then I got a good enough grade to pass. So I was like, okay, that's good enough.
Oh, you watch? I remember a lot of like kids didn't pass that one. They like purposely like didn't even try it because the thesis, paper, and presentation were like, That was like 300 points in total. But we can get into the thesis stuff later, senior year. We're not even done with our freshman year yet. But I remember there was one memory quiz that we took for O'Rourke that like none of us passed. I mean, literally none of us. And our principal at the time,
that's right.
He like walked in and like I don't know, he probably just saw the grade online, or like maybe Mr. O'Rourke complained.
Mr. O'Rourke went and got him. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Everybody failed it except for maybe like one girl passed or something like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know who that was. Anyway, he like goes up to him, and then I think it was Mr. Veman's history class, like the last period of the day, and Mr. Hashley, who was our principal at the time, comes in, and he was like not happy with us at all.
I could never take Mr. Hashley seriously, so I was just like, when he was talking to us, I was just kind of like, whoa. Like I didn't take that super seriously.
Yeah,
and I agree with the punishment. Then I was kind of sad.
Yeah, well, like I just hated it because like I would pass like every single one of them, and then the one I don't pass is the one that coincidentally everyone else doesn't pass either.
Well, because we were flooded with work, and I didn't have time to memorize this big old thing. What was our punishment like?
Like you couldn't. It was like a week long of like not being able to hang out with anybody like during your study halls or whatever.
I thought it was, and lunches too. Like we had to do.
No, it wasn't lunch.
It was lunch suspensions. Like we couldn't go out.
No, it wasn't lunch.
We had to stay in class.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't like that. Maybe and I remember I was like, seriously, dude, and like a lot of like unnecessary drama like happened between like one student and Mr. Hashley, and it wasn't like an upfront conflict. It was a conflict that like this person created that was just never really real.
I'm pretty sure Mr. Hashley didn't even realize something was wrong because she would just gossip about him
all the time.
Mr. Hashley did this to me, and Mr. Hashley.
But there's like no evidence of that whatsoever. Yeah, well, there's no evidence of that whatsoever. Like, remember, there's like security cameras. There is security cameras like all throughout the building.
Yep.
And there's like, and I'm pretty sure, like, who was the guy mainly looking at them? Like Mrs. Morgan and Mr. Will at the time, or something like that.
Mrs. Morgan, I think, always checks the security cameras. Yeah.
And then like, yeah, like there was no evidence of that. She never gave any details or anything as to what happened, and so there was no evidence of that.
Her family was pretty like high up, I guess. Like the school respected what her parents had to say. I don't know why. I think it's just because they paid like a lot.
Well, maybe they just have a long history with them.
Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, so like the school like would listen to her parents. So I'm pretty sure Mr. Hashley got fired sophomore year because of her family.
Well, we don't know for sure, but
I don't know if he got fired or if he left, but we're pretty sure that he got fired because they kind of told us that he was requested to leave or something like that after sophomore year.
So I definitely remember.
I always liked Mr. Hashley. He was. He would say weird things. Sometimes.
Yeah, and he would have a weird smile too. But like even then, that wasn't. It's not enough to like throw shade at him and say like, oh, he's a horrible person. He likes to go after kids and like no, he was a fine human being.
Oh, he had a rough past too. So he was just trying to, be Christian like. I guess,
and
he
I don't
past.
And I mean, we could speculate as to if he was fired or not. But I actually remember he was just randomly talking to me like at the hallway one time, and I asked him. This was during my sophomore year, and I remember asking him why he's leaving, and he's like, "Well, I've been here for like 17 years, and my youngest kid is now graduating, that kind of thing." So
Yeah.
I think he just wanted to just retire after so many years.
Well,
I honestly I still
still
believe
friends
that.
with
I
him also.
honestly like, you may say that like he got fired or something. I honestly don't think that that's the case at all. And like, I really
Well,
don't.
no one's gonna like tell somebody they got fired. I mean,
Well,
there's
still,
that.
well, because of the fact that there's no evidence that he necessarily did anything like harassment wise. I mean, he literally
Yeah.
he literally did nothing. Like,
I think it might have been a little bit of both too. Like he kind of wanted to leave, and the school kind of wanted him to leave, so they just kind of.
yeah, but they probably just didn't like directly tell like, "You're fired," like that kind of thing. It's just
Yeah.
like, I bet like
Anyway, where were we? Freshman year. At the
the
end,
memory thing, and then
memory stuff.
yeah, I mean, I remember during our freshman year, Fortnite started the trend a lot, and that was like,
Yeah.
that was back when it was fun. Like, I remember the days when it was fun to play that game, and me, Legend, and Mason would have long nights where we played to like 12 o'clock in the morning and stuff, and it was just a good time. And I remember during our like freshman final exams, I'm gonna just cut to the final exams because there's nothing really much to talk
There's
about
not
besides
much.
having to do the schoolwork and the sports and stuff. I remember we decided it was like Fortnite. No, it was like screw finals, play Fortnite. I think that was like the thing we were like saying. And so instead of studying for finals, we would just play Fortnite all the time.
I always didn't like Fortnite. I always thought it was stupid.
Well, it's because of the gameplay mechanics wise that you thought it wasn't that good. And
I always thought it was dumb.
yeah,
Well, because I played Fortnite like a couple times with friends and stuff.
and on
It
your
was only-
on your
it was
channel
only for
too.
YouTube. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was all for YouTube.
You
Like,
played
I
with
never-
you played with Mason one time, didn't you?
I played with Mason, and then I played with Legend and Levi one time.
Yeah.
But like, I never played like on my own just for fun. It was always just like, "Ooh, this is popular right now. I guess I should play it." You know.
Yeah. I think I stopped playing it after my freshman year though. And and now Fortnite is like, ugh. I don't like no one like our age really likes that game now. Like, basically no one does. It's basically a game for like kids now, and like professional live streamers.
Kids always ruin games. Always.
Yeah,
Like,
always.
Among Us.
Now it's
like Among Us now.
Yeah, Among Us, Fortnite. I don't know about any other like BR game. Not Warzone.
Minecraft.
Warzone. Minecraft.
A little bit got like that, but then
we
came back and
we
took back
we revived that game like
Minecraft.
a couple years ago. It's gonna be fun to share those stories. But yeah, I mean, that was pretty much our freshman year, and I actually remember during the end of my freshman year, I actually decided to do sports like the next year.
Well, because Levi was like convincing you to do it.
Yeah.
If you Carlos, you should play sports. Then you're
That
like,
that's the thing about Levi. Levi may have always been like throwing insults at me whenever he could, but sometimes he was genuine about what he thought would have been productive for me to do, such as
he was genuinely nice. Like everybody at Stillwater is pretty much nice.
Well, not everyone at the time was nice, but
most people.
Yeah.
Nobody is purposely being a jerk to somebody else.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, that was pretty much our our freshman year, I mean, I can't really think of anything big and crazy that happened at the time. I mean, is there anything during the banquet that you went to that happened, or was it just kind of whatever?
Banquet freshman year was the best one. That one was great.
That's I actually
all
missed that
the-
one.
Like, I don't know why, but nobody was like super shy for that banquet for some reason. So, they had, you know how the last couple of years they had DJ Phillips,
Yeah.
and he would do like
I hate
party
it.
music, you know. And it's
Yeah.
really hard to dance with someone to party music. Freshman year they had a live band that played like jazz and slow songs and fast songs, you know. So it was like it would get you into it, you know. And I asked a couple girls to dance. I danced with like 6 different girls or something like that.
Yeah.
And then
Honestly, it's the music that makes or breaks your chances of
well, yeah, I mean,
dancing with someone.
when you start playing like what
How am I
songs?
gonna dance when you play Black Eyed Peas? Like, why? Like,
Yeah, like how am I gonna ask a girl like, "Hey, you want to dance to the Black Eyed Peas or what was that other song they always used to play? The slide to the left one, slide to
yeah.
the left, slide to the right. You know, and it's like I can't dance with a girl to this. This is group dance music. So freshman year they
Wait,
had a
hold
live
on.
band.
I'm getting another call again. I'm gonna do a Raul. Hello, this is Raul from Spacecraft Enterprises. How may I be assist of you? Yeah.
Should have put it on speaker.
I did. No, she didn't say anything. She just hung up. This person just hung up.
What if it was actually somebody important?
Dude, it wasn't even from Montana, so like,
Yeah.
no, it was not anything important.
Okay. Anyway, where were we? Banquet. So banquet happens during Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Christmassy.
Yeah. I should have gone that year. I remember I like chose not to go just because I didn't really know anyone. Like,
Yeah.
even though yeah.
We tried to get a table with like all of the boys,
But
then
I think you weren't really in it, were you? Or
it wasn't that okay. So what happened was like all the freshmen were like, "Yeah, we're gonna get a table with all the boys," but then some of the sophomores came and joined. So like Sam and Colton sat there.
mm-hmm.
So then me and Jacob had like nowhere to sit. So we're like, bruh. So then we sat,
Yeah.
By ourselves with Logan. I think Logan.
Logan.
He didn't have
Oh
a place to
man.
sit either.
Oh
So
yeah,
then,
Logan too. Like he was definitely one of the like few people that I like hung out with like outside of school as well.
Logan was
When
good,
I went to
except
Stillwater.
for he had a little bit of a back then. I'm not sure about right now. I think he's pretty good about it right now. But back then he had a little bit of a perverted mindset. I'd say.
Yeah.
Like
He was also into like super dark humor too.
Yeah.
He would always like show me these memes about like kids that are like that have like terminal diseases and stuff, and I'm like, okay, yeah, thanks for showing me that.
Yeah. Anyway, he was there, so we were all sitting there, and then Dante showed up a little late, and Dante was dating Elena at the time. So then Elena sat with us because Dante sat with us, and then I think that was it for the dinner was good. Had a chicken cordon bleu with some spaghetti.
Nice. That I don't know about eating messy spaghetti when you're wearing like a fancy outfit.
I did spill some sauce on my
Yeah.
vest.
Yeah, spaghetti is not the best. Spaghetti, like anything with sauce, is like not good to eat when you're like going out with someone. Because it's just so messy all the time. Oh yeah, so I think
Freshman year banquet was the best one because they actually had real music.
Mm-hmm.
I actually got to dance with women. So it was nice.
Yeah.
2 seniors too. I danced with 2 seniors. It was fun.
Yeah, nice.
Because Seth was a senior and he's my brother, so they already knew me. So it was easier. Anyway, so that was banquet.
Yeah. I was just about to end like the recording session because I thought that was it, but that's actually not it. There was like another seminar that like me, you, and Logan were in with Mr. Venman. Like, and we would like ride in Mr. Venman's van and.
Oh yeah,
Dude, that was probably like that time period. Like I remember like that we were doing that, and then that same Friday, Infinity War was coming out. And so that was like probably the best week of that year, hands down, because and then so we did all that, and like you and Logan were just like us three were just off to the sides, like making jokes about some of the random like artifacts and stuff.
Yeah, well, because what we did was, so the school had, they had winter seminars, and then they would have spring seminars. So winter ones was like a class thing, and then spring seminars was you'd sign up to be with a teacher to do seminars with that specific teacher. And I wanted to go to the Snoss cabin seminar with Mr. O'Rourke.
Me too.
So what they
But
did
all
was they
the
hiked up
all the
Snoss
places,
cabin and, like, spent
yeah,
a
all
week
the
in there.
spots got taken up for that, and so the next best thing was to ride in Mr. Venman's van and visit like museums.
Yeah, we went to museums around the county, so that was pretty fun.
Yeah, and it was still fun. Like I still remember having a good time.
It was us, some sophomore, because we were freshmen, so some sophomore girls, and then Angelina went too.
Angelina, and who's Lawrence? Like, was he? I think he went with us too. He was a good kid.
He was fun.
And yeah, I think that was and yeah, I mean that was pretty much all the exciting stuff that happened freshman year. I mean, I don't want to go a day by day. So on Monday we did this, and then on Tuesday we took this class, and I failed this test and that test, which happened a lot.
I think we hit all the big.
Yeah, we hit all the big moments. All right. Yeah, so I think that's a wrap on it. We've been recording for like 57 minutes now, so that's pretty decent actually. So yeah, I mean, you know the shtick. So
we're
smash.
My
Yeah.
channel, right?
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. I definitely want to like. I also need to like go back and like cut some stuff out, like the phone calls and the.
Oh, but some of the phone calls were funny.
Okay. I'll leave the hello, this is Varu from Space Cops Enterprises. But I'll definitely cut out like this ending part. So yeah, that's pretty much that's a wrap on. I'm gonna go ahead and just stop the recording right now.
Like and subscribe. Make sure to check out Space Cops
Remastered.